I'll spend a few minutes and talk about the successful elusiveness of success. While the concepts of knowledge-centered support are relatively easy to understand, then has amazing potential, it seems to be quite elusive. In terms of knowledge-centered support itself, consider that you have a problem with your PC and you decide to call the manufacturer. You end up talking to one of maybe 20,000 analysts, and the probability that that analyst knows the answer to your problem is somewhere between 0 and 100%. If they know the answer to your problem, they give it to you and you go away happy. If they don't know the answer, they'll work with you for 10 minutes or an hour or a day or a week, whatever it takes to figure out the answer to your problem. And then your problem is solved and you go away happy. And in the process, that analyst learns something new about dealing with customer problems. The other 19,999 analysts didn't learn squat. So the whole concept of knowledge-centered support is that as that analyst is learning how to solve your problem, they create a solution in the knowledge base. And the creation of solutions promotes the use of solutions, which promotes the perceived value, which promotes the creation of more solutions, so that you end up with a virtuous reinforcing cycle whereby all of the analysts in this organization end up learning 24/7, 365, though they don't actually know what they know until they need to know it to solve the customer's problem. The difficulty is, well, there's another virtuous reinforcing cycle that fits into here, and that is that the perceived value promotes coaching, which develops engineer skills, which improves solution quality, which improves the use of solution, which improves the perceived value. So you have another virtuous reinforcing cycle that should, in fact, continue to evolve the knowledge base so that the organization simply continues to develop more and more value from that knowledge base. And as it develops, at some point, it can actually provide that access to that knowledge base to its customers, so the customers can go there and solve their own problems and not call support, which makes it extremely more productive for the organization if they can solve problems for the customer without ever having to engage directly with the customer. And though my experience with attempting to help organizations adopt knowledge-centered support, it seems that it seldom ever enables them to realize the potential that it could in terms of the performance of their organization, and determine that there's a flawed mental model in terms of leadership and management, in terms of the manner in which they need to promote the creation of solutions, and therefore the solutions don't get used because they're not created, which diminishes the perceived value of knowledge-centered support, which ends up actually promoting the flawed mental models and therefore encouraging management to continue in the same manner that they have, and you have a very vicious reinforcing loop that sort of works against the development of the environment, which would serve to be extremely helpful in terms of the organization's productivity. In addition to that, that same flawed mental model causes management not to support the use of solutions in the way that they could or should, so that it diminishes the perceived value, which supports the flawed mental model, and therefore they continue in the same manner, so that you end up with another vicious reinforcing loop, which simply inhibits the development of the knowledge-centered support environment, and the organization doesn't realize the potential of pursuing this. And what I came to understand was that management simply does not understand the value of attention. Nothing motivates like attention, and nothing is as demotivating as too much attention. It's a fine line. In other words, the the members of the organization determine what's important based upon what management pays attention to. And if management doesn't pay attention to the creation and use of solutions at the appropriate level, the organization determines that it's not really that important, so they don't pay attention to it either. And it actually turns out to be sort of a success to the successful archetype, which is also a self-fulfilling prophecy, so that they don't believe that it's that valuable, so they don't pay attention to it. So it turns out to be not that valuable, and what they expected, in fact, comes true. So when there is a difficulty, it's appropriate to make sure that you're not the cause of the difficulty. And, as Pogo said, we have met the enemy and he is us. And it is more often true than not. So I hope you found this informative. This is an element of the Perspectives Project, and you are invited to join us by sending your Kumu username to systemswiki@gmail.com. If you don't have a Kumu username, you can get one at kumu.io/signup. If you've not seen the introductory video for this project, you can find that at systemswiki.org. And I'll see you in another video shortly. Bye.